Let me start off by saying I'm not going to speculate about what happened with this plane crash in Washington, D.C., all right? It's a tragic event, and it will be investigated, and hopefully we will get the truth sooner rather than later. However, a few interesting things have been coming to light about hiring practices and what the heck is going on over there at the FAA. And as you can see right here on the screen, the New York Post actually reported a year ago that, yes, the FAA's diversity push includes focusing on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities, because why in the heck would you not want to have these people working in an organization that is responsible for the safety of every single man, woman, and child flying through the air in this country? So of course we have lots to discuss, but before we get to these clips, don't forget to like and share on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
Second, for your signature, we have a presidential memorandum titled Immediate Assessment of Aviation Safety. In light of the damage done to aviation safety by the Biden administration's DEI and woke policies, what this presidential memorandum orders is for your Secretary of Transportation and FAA Administrator, in this case acting FAA Administrator, to basically ensure that we are actively undoing all of that damage, that we are assessing how much damage was done, and that we're ensuring that people hired within the FAA, in keeping with your memorandum of January 21st, are only the most outstanding, capable people for the jobs that they're being hired into.
In other words, competence.
Yes, sir. Elevating competence over everything else instead of the DEI policies that were pursued by the Biden administration.
I think everyone understands that. And Obama.
Yes.
Both of them. Okay, but Biden much worse. Not even a contest. What they've done is just crazy in so many other ways. Okay?
The system has been under attack due to DEI and the FAA bowing to wokeness since 2010, since the Obama administration. The lack of staffing is directly attributable to the Obama administration terminating the lists of eligible, well-trained air traffic control statements in 36 universities across the country in 2013 because they were too white. The FAA also, at the same time, implemented an immunity program. So you think you're seeing legitimate statistics, you're not. In the old days, before 2010, the immunity program, if an air traffic controller got two airplanes too close, too many times, they would be decertified and retrained. Now, they're not. All they have to do within 48 hours of being noticed or being investigated for a potential separation error, they're called operational errors in the FAA, the controller just simply has to avail themselves of this program that gives them immunity. And when I say immunity, I mean immunity. The FAA cannot retrain these people. If somebody has a repetitive instance of malfeasance or lack of competency, the FAA, because of this immunity program, cannot rectify the situation. They have to basically allow the person to remain in the same position. It's very, very difficult for the FAA to retrain a controller, and it's attributed to, quite frankly, the union and the FAA working together to basically use this program to gerrymander the statistics.
So Donald Trump, of course, has come out and blamed this pretty much on DEI hiring. Now, do we know that's the case? Not quite yet, although Donald Trump may be privy to information we don't have yet. But what we do know is that this accident seemed like it was completely avoidable, right? The plane's coming in, the helicopter basically is hovering and moving slowly into position, and bam, we have this interception that causes this horrible accident, all right? Now, was this avoidable? 100%, all right? Why did it happen? That's what we need to know. And in light of this new information about the hiring practices, right, the standards going on over there at the FAA, something needs to change, and getting rid of these horrible policies is a good start.
It is a betrayal of the American people to say that you are going to prioritize the hiring of people with severe intellectual defects to serve at the Federal Aviation Administration, the entity responsible for ensuring that every single passenger over American airspace safely takes off, safely flies, and safely lands. And again, what it does over a period of time to an agency is that it prevents that agency from developing the new systems, the new protocols, the new programs, the new priorities to constantly adapt and evolve airline safety. Because instead, you're always playing catch up. You're always playing cleanup. You're trying to put out fires. You're trying to stop things from falling apart. You can't build. You cannot learn. You cannot grow because you're not hiring based solely on qualification and competence. They have been playing games with America's public safety in a way that is unconscionable. And President Trump's made clear that he is not only, and he issued another order today, he's not only installing the highest standards possible, but the order President Trump issued today tells the Secretary of Transportation to review every hiring decision at the FAA over the last 4 years. And where someone was not hired based on merit, qualification, or competence, then that person needs to be replaced.
And that pretty much sums it up, right? This is what we can do at this point. Review the hiring practices of the past. And if anybody was hired who doesn't meet the high standards, the high qualifications, you have to get rid of them, because this is about public safety. This is about saving lives. And of course, this is about allowing an organization to run smoothly. What else could it possibly be? But of course, this is what the left always does. They do not innovate. They do not make better. They only take something and basically destroy it, right? A cheap imitation of what it originally was. The only way you can have something actually improve is by having people come in with the intellectual ability to say, hey, here's a problem, let's fix it. Hey, here's how we can actually make this better, right? This is how we actually get the new innovations that would make things more safe, not less safe. But of course, we don't want to tell that to Biden's head of the FAA.
So, Mr. Washington, can you quickly tell me what airspace requires an ADS-B transponder?
Not sure I can answer that question right now.
That's okay. We'll just keep going. So that's a pretty important part. So what are the 6 types of special use airspace that protect this national security that appear on FAA charts?
Sorry, Senator, I cannot answer that question.
Okay. So what are the operational limitations of a pilot flying under basic med?
Senator, I'm not a pilot, so.
But obviously you'd oversee the Federal Aviation Administration. So any idea what those restrictions are under basic med, quickly?
Well, some of the restrictions I think would be high blood pressure. Some of them would be.
It's more like how many passengers per airplane, how many pounds in different categories, and what altitude you can fly under. So, and then amount of knots. It's under 250 knots. So it's not have anything to do with blood pressure. So can you tell me what causes an aircraft to spin or to stall?
Again, Senator, I'm not a pilot.
Okay, let's keep going. What are the 3 aircraft certifications the FAA requires as part of the manufacturing process? Quickly, please. 3 aircraft certifications.
Again, what I would say to that is that one of my first priorities would be to fully implement that Certification Act and report.
You know
back
the 3
to this
types,
committee.
Mr. Washington? The 3
No.
types? Okay. Yeah, that's type certificate, production certificate, and airworthiness certificate. Okay. All right. Let's just keep going, see if we can get lucky here. So can you tell me what the minimum separation distance is for landing and departing airliners during the daytime, Mr. Washington?
I don't want to guess on that, Senator.
Are you familiar with the difference between Part 107 and Part 44809 when it comes to unmanned aerial standards? Unmanned like drones? Are you familiar with the difference?
Yes.
Okay. You know the difference between those two, Part 44809 and Part 107? Do you know the difference there?
No, I cannot.
That's okay.
So this is Phil Washington, and Joe Biden actually nominated him to lead the FAA all the way back in 2023. But luckily, he was never confirmed because obviously he did not have the requisite knowledge. But this is what the left always does. They put people in positions of power because, I don't know, they check a box or something like that. You might even say they're a DEI hire, right? And this is the same thing that happened with Pete Buttigieg. But unfortunately, he was actually confirmed and put in as the head of transportation. And we all know how that turned out with many of the train derailments and accidents that were happening over the last 4 years under his watch, okay? But this is what I've been saying. The left doesn't care about improvement. The left doesn't care about innovation. The left doesn't care about making something better. Instead, all they care about is diversity, pushing their quotas, pushing their agenda, as opposed to actually running something smoothly. Now, do I believe that a person must head an agency who has tons of experience in that field? Not necessarily, right? They could be a master of hiring practices, right? A master of making things more efficient. efficient, okay? They can do all of those things. But when you can't answer basic questions about what the heck you're supposed to be overseeing in the first place, yeah, it's kind of a disqualifier, and it shows the basic mindset of the left. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.